Well, hello, everybody coming on. As you come on, I'd love it if you can introduce yourself, tell me where you're coming in from. If you're engaged, I'd love to know how long you've been engaged for um, and what you're enjoying about being engaged. Gonna give it a few minutes. I'm a bit early, so if you're on the replay, leave a comment. I'd love to know where you're joining in from and also um, how long you've been engaged for. My hair is not looking brilliant, but we keep it moving. Keep it moving. I hope what day is it? Thursday has been a good one. That you are ready to go, and if you've had dinner, I've just had dinner too. Well, about half an hour ago. So, um, yeah, sorry, I'm just getting a couple of things ready, putting the phone on silent. As well. People, a couple of minutes to come on. Yes, get myself ready. So yeah, looking forward to sharing this with you and looking forward to hearing how this resonates with you and if it's useful for you in some way. This is my new YouTube channel, so if you're feeling it, I'd love you to subscribe and like this video. It all helps to sort of get me out there, you know? Yes. Right. Still. Right. That's all in a minute. And just getting things ready. Yes. There'll be a slide. There'll be slides as well. As I said, this is new for me, so yeah, just let me know if you can't see anything, can't hear anything. But yeah, I'm just going to give it couple more minutes for people to come in. I'll wait for people to come in. And then we'll get started because I don't want to take up all of your time here. So, yeah. Right. So I'm going to get started. So thank you for being here. Thank you for, if you're watching this on the replay, for listening. And if you missed it, Please like and subscribe um, to my new channel. I'm excited to explore how I can use YouTube a little bit more and in a different way um, to what you may see on Instagram um, as well. But, that's not what we're here to talk about today. So, today um, is called Grounded and Present. And essentially, gosh, I haven't even introduced myself. Let me introduce myself. I am Edna Bempong from Intentionally Wed, and I am a wedding coach. Um, but I guide couples through the process of planning their wedding um, in a holistic way. So I want to honor the emotional, physical, spiritual, um, and mental transition that you all go through when you are planning a wedding. It isn't just about the pretty, isn't just about the one day. There's so many relationships that come into play. There's different emotional feelings that come up that need to be addressed. It could be a relationship dynamic. It can be even just simple decision making that might need to happen. Um, so my intention with Intentionally Wed is to support you through that process, whilst also helping you to plan your wedding as well. I was I done full-time wedding planning. I've been in the industry for over 10 years, and sorry, I'm just putting my phone on silent because I hadn't thought I had, but I hadn't. Um, Sorry. Yes, do not disturb is on now. So yeah, um, so part of what I do. So I've been in the industry for like 10 years, over 10 years. Prior to that, well, I went full time in my business in 2015. So I was doing it part time whilst I worked, and I was well, I've done a couple of things, but all within sort of fashion retail sector. Um, but my last role was learning, training, and development manager. Um, so coaching has always been a part of what I do. I love interacting and connecting with people and getting, you know, diving deep into helping people be the best that they can be in whatever circumstance they are in at that time. So, what I do is help couples to transition into from help the transition from engaged to marriage basically. um, and I mix and blend relationship wellness, wedding planning, and well-being, self-care um, into the mix. um, yeah, so that's a little bit of what I do. And as I said, today, what I want to do is talk about the feeling. Well, what essentially we're going to do is come up with a couple of words that describe how you want to feel during your engagement season. And then with that, we're I'm going to talk you through how to anchor into that feeling, understand why it's important to you, and how to reconnect with it throughout your engagement season. So, if you find you become off centered, balanced, distracted, overwhelmed, whatever it might be, it how do you get centered again and come back to that feeling? And by, I was talking yesterday on my Instagram stories about my word of the year, which is dedicated. And I have had a word of the year for the last sort of 5 years. And for 3 of those 5, I had the same word of the year, and that was ease. And the reason why I have, or why that word was so, I sort of had that continuously for a number of years, was because I wanted to actually really feel into the ease. I wanted it to be a part of me in every area of my life. Um, but essentially, what the word of the year does is it helps me anchor. It reminds me when I'm feeling off centered, am I in the space that I want to be in? And so essentially, that is what we'll be doing today. So, one of the first questions that I ask my couples, when we begin working, or just in general, if I'm, is how do you want to feel during your engagement season? And this word, this feeling will be an anchor. And you can change that. You're not committed to it, that you can't move from it. But hopefully, by identifying why the word you select or the feeling you select is important, it will run through. It will run through. So, um, let's get started. I'm going to share my screen, and you should be able to um, see this as well. Hoping you can see me. Yes, you can. Brilliant. Just gonna get rid of that. Excellent, excellent. So, wedding planning with less stress, that's what I'm about. That is what I'm all about, is making sure that this process is as easeful as possible in all the ways. So just, oh, thought I'd lost tech, hey? No, I don't want to stop sharing. Well, let's see. I think I've hidden it from myself. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So let's go. I think we've stalled enough. So it's an intro. Oh, notice you can't see it properly. Right, bear with me. Let me get this sorted, because I don't like, and it's like that. Can you see it? No. Well, hopefully. Do you know what? Let's work. Well, I need to. Apologies. Right. So, just my intent, just a little intro about me. I've done that, so we can, because of time, we'll skip that. My intention today is for you to have this. My intention for this session is for you to have an understanding of the emotions you aim to feel during your engagement season, and to hold on to those feelings. And as I said before, having this approach will help you to reconnect with it throughout your wedding planning journey. So we're going to focus on 3 things this evening, that is setting the foundation and why, setting your intentions, and then anchoring into the energy of your intention. So those are the three things that we're going to look at today. Okay. But before we get into anything, what I want to do is I want us to get grounded, for us to connect. So what I'd like you to do is to get comfy. Wherever you are, get comfy. Take a couple of minutes, not a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds, get comfy and close your eyes. Close your eyes and feel into where we are. Yeah. If you're in a place where you can't close your eyes, just lower your gaze. Okay. And if that isn't possible, just listen. And that's all good too. Okay. So what I'd like you to do is take 3 deep breaths. Yeah. So we'll take a deep breath together now. And then release. When you're taking in your breath, I want you to focus on your breath. I want you to feel it in your stomach. I want you to feel it. Put your hand on your stomach if that helps as you take a breath in. Can you feel your stomach? You're filling your lungs and the expansion. Okay. Once you've taken your 3 deep breaths, just bring your breathing back to normal. So what I want us to do now is to connect with our body. Yeah. So I want you to feel your bum on the seat that you're sitting on, or your bed, or your sofa, wherever it is you are right now. Feel it. Feel your bum on it. Feel the support of whatever it is that you're sitting on. And remember that you are always supported. And you're supported in this moment now. So even though you may feel something as we go through today, just remember that you are supported at all times. Okay? You are supported at all times. Okay. Now into that, feel it, and just know you're supported. Just know you're supported. Okay. So I want you to take a couple of breaths in and out, and slowly open your eyes. And as you open your eyes, I want you to look around the room that you're in and just notice 3 things that you can see. Doesn't need to be anything specific. Brilliant. Hopefully you're feeling a bit more relaxed and feeling grounded and in the room with us. Okay, so let's start then. So let's start. So wedding and engagement season with intention. You get to choose the engagement and wedding experience you want. You always get to choose. Yeah. You and it's important that there's a foundation here when we are before we start planning, before we start, booking anything, before we start you know, talking to people or anything like that, it's really important that you understand that you do get to choose. So there's some foundational elements that you can or that you can move through. You can ask some questions to yourself to understand um, how to create that foundation. Okay. And one of them is, how do you want to feel? What's your why? Okay. What is your why? And I don't mean like, oh, because we're getting married. That's not the reason why. You're there because you're here engaged. That is to be married. But what's the purpose of the marriage? You know, is it to bring your families together, for example? Is it to celebrate your union, as in, maybe you guys have gone through some things and you want to celebrate it. That's the why. Yeah, there's a deeper meaning. And then what's the vision in alignment with your values? So these are the foundational questions that you can deep dive on, ask yourself. And if you want some further guidance on these, you can download my free guide where I go into a bit more detail with this in there. The link is in my bio. Um, if you want to delve even deeper with this, just drop me a DM and we can have a chat, or drop me an email and we can have a chat. But essentially, once you have clarity on this area, this foundational piece, this sets you up. This sets you up for your wedding journey to be far more aligned with who you are, far more easeful as you go, and also and easeful in the sense that you will know what to say yes to, what to say no to in terms of decision making. It will help you to set boundaries with people when necessary. Um, it will help you to, you know, just decide. Well, it's boundaries. I was going to say something around boundaries, but it is just setting boundaries for people and talking about your wedding in a more confident way. You will feel more confident talking about your wedding as well. So these are just a few things that saying I'm a lot, aren't I? These are just a few. These are just sort of a couple starter questions in terms of setting the foundation. But the key point here is that understand you get to choose. I know that there are other factors to consider. However, understanding these three key areas and what you want to do helps you to um, make decisions with those other factors. Okay. The other thing I wanted to say is, like, our mental well-being, our physical well-being during this process can also be affected. And it's so important that you make your self-care, your well-being a priority. Because if it's not, believe me, um, it makes this journey a little bit more harder, a little bit more tense. You don't have to settle for drama or overwhelm. Yeah, you can set yourself up for success. And if you start here, it sets the tone for the whole journey. Okay. So the question we're going to focus on tonight is, how do you want to feel during your engagement season? That is the question we'll be asking, and that's where we'll be focusing and tapping into. So I don't think I said this at the beginning, but um, if you want to, you can grab a piece of paper um, and answer these questions as we go. I'll give you a few minutes to respond to the questions as we go, but also know that you can come back to this recording once I've uploaded it and go through it again. Also, if you want a copy of the slides, drop me a DM, drop me an email, and I can ping it over to you so that you can do it in your own time. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is, how do you want to remember your engagement season? So examples are there. We've got calm, romantic, fun, grounded. These are just a couple of examples for you in terms of how you want to remember. So I want to give you a couple of minutes, literally have a couple of minutes, because the thing about this is you don't want to overthink it. Overthinking will cause more problems. So on your wherever it is that you're making notes, just list down all the ways you want to feel during your engagement season. So I'll give you 2 minutes, just list them all down. Don't limit yourself, just list them all. Okay, cool. I'll give you a couple minutes to do that. Should have had some music. Should I play some music? I think I'll play some music for you. Okay, one more minute. Okay, I'm going to stop there. So hopefully you've got a list of words. It doesn't matter how many, the number is not important if, it's just um, having a list, something to work from is important. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to narrow it down to two words. So if you've got more than two, we need to narrow it down. So what I want you to do is go through your words. I'm going to give you 2 minutes for this as well. And remember, you can come back to this and redo it. So don't feel like you have to have the end result now. You can always come back. But what you're going to do is go through your words. If there are any similar words, you want to group those words together. Um, and then decide, we're literally going to narrow it down to two words. Out of your list of words, you want two words. If you've only got two words, use this time to come up with some others, if that's what you want to choose, or if you're happy with the two that you've got, brilliant. Just stick with it, and when we get onto part two, or yeah, the next part three rather, um, you'll be ready. Okay, so it's 2 minutes. One more minute. Okay, let's stop there. Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant. Right. So hopefully you're happy with the two words that you have. Um, and what we're going to do now is anchor into the feeling of these two words. And when I say anchor, what I'm referring to is about the energy of these emotions driving into this. Is about your body joining in on this journey. So when we are anchoring into the energy of it, we want to feel it in our body. So like I said to you earlier, is that I like to there was 3 years that I had easeful as my word of the year, and part of that looks like it's because I wasn't feeling easeful in my body, not all the time. I still felt anxious. I still felt like I was overwhelmed at times or overthinking. And, I wanted to get into the practice of feeling at ease with things. So, with this section, we want to anchor in to bringing our body on the journey with us, bringing it along with us. Okay. Now, what I do want to caveat that with is it doesn't mean that when you feel other things during this process that we ignore the feeling that we feel. So if you're feeling disappointed, if you're feeling angry, if you're feeling frustrated, any of those, we're not ignoring those feelings. Like you want to work through those feelings and bring yourself back to a sense of joy, bringing yourself back to the feeling that you want to feel. Okay. Because this journey is supposed to be enjoyed. It can be enjoyed. It's all the other stuff that we do that makes us feel um like crap, basically. Yeah. Right. So, how do we do that? Right. So, what I want you to do is to jot down, and again, I'm going to caveat and say if you can't think of things straight away, then come back to this. Don't feel pressured to answer these questions right now. You might even choose to just do that. So, jot these questions down to answer the following question, to anchor in rather, is why do you want to feel XYZ? Yeah, why do you want to feel XYZ? What's your behavior like? It's probably not good English, is it? What I'm getting at there is what will you be behaving? What's the behaviors like? Well, I'm going to go through an example next anyway. What are you doing? So, it's a bit of visualization there, and what's bringing you joy. So, if you're feeling what you're feeling, what's the joy that it brings you by feeling that? So, let's go straight to the example. So, it hopefully makes a bit more sense. So, I've gone with this one because I think it's something that we can all sort of resonate with, wanting to feel organized. So, as it says, because the reason why, so why do you want to feel organized, is because you overthink. For me, I done this from my point of view, is because I overthink, and being organized helps me to feel in control. Yeah. The behavior part of this is what things will help you feel organized. Yeah. So I'll set up a specific email. I will give you a little tip if you are starting out, is set up a specific email for your wedding planning so that the both of you can access it. Create clearer boundaries around my work. That an example of that is, again, if possible, is if you start work at 9:30, let's say you do a 9 to 5, but sometimes you might have to work a little bit later. The latest you will work is 7 p.m. Yeah. um, that's an example of setting a boundary. People tend to think boundaries are for others. The boundary is for you. So what are you going to do? You might speak to your partner to divvy up the load in terms of feeling organized. You'll block out time each week to do wedding work. Yeah. The aligned action, the doing part, yeah, is the calendar is set up. So I'm clear on what I'm working on and when. So in my calendar, as I said, I've said, all right, today I'm going to check out venues. I'm just going to go and I'm going to go online and check out some venues. And that's what I'm going to do. And that's all I'm going to do. Yeah, for today. That's a boundary with yourself again. The fourth question, what are you enjoying? By being organized, it allows you to enjoy quality time with your partner because you are sticking to your boundaries. You may also feel like you're achieving something and that's what you're enjoying. It might mean that you feel more easeful in the process as well. So you're enjoying that. So essentially what you're doing is you're locking into you're connecting with the why, which helps motivate and encourage you to tap into that feeling as well, because you understand the benefit of that feeling and being connected to that feeling. Right, sorry, got distracted there. Another way that you can tap into the energy is through affirmations. Okay. And creating an affirmation that supports the feeling. Now, you can find affirmations, you can Google affirmations or create your own affirmation. I've used the feeling organized as an example and for an affirmation, and I've got I am in control of my time and the planning. Okay, this affirmation you can print it off, make it pretty, print it off somewhere, maybe put it in your on your desktop, on your phone. You can print it off and put it on your cork board, whatever works for you, but have it available so that you can see it regularly. You can pop it in your journal, whatever it might be for you, whatever works for you. Having an affirmation helps to anchor into it even more. Okay. Okay, so part 4, we're almost there, is the check-in. Like I said, um, there may be times where you're just in your day to day, and you realize, that you are feeling a bit. Let me get some water. I can't find my water. Sorry. You're feeling off centered. You're feeling unbalanced in some way, and it's really important that you check in with yourself so that you reconnect with this feeling. Okay. And I'm just thinking with it, this part. This is just referring back to the importance of anchoring into the feeling. Okay. And checking in with ourselves, because it helps us, as it says, to balance ourselves, to get ourselves back in, to feel peaceful, as it says, and be able to move forward. As looking after ourselves, our well-being is very important. Okay. So how can you check in? You can check in as often as what works best for you. So weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, bi-monthly, every 6 months. I wouldn't suggest every 6 months. I would probably sort of do it more regularly, maybe every 3 months if that's what works for you. Um, but it's not to make it an additional thing to work with. It's to make it an enjoyable experience for you when you do this check-in. Yeah. So I've got some prompts here for you. You can make a note of these. Yeah. And you can, I journal. I love to journal. Um, it's a daily thing for me, journaling. But journaling, writing might not be your thing. Maybe you're a voice note person. You like to leave little voice memos for yourself. That's one thing that you can do. But writing helps to flow. Okay. You might time yourself up, give yourself sort of 5 minutes just to write whatever comes to mind, and not censor yourself in any way. So these prompts are to help guide your thought process, bring you back to center, help set some intentions as well, if that's what you want. It might be that you only pick one of them, and that's fine. You might choose to do all of them. There's no pressure. Okay. This is about being easeful, being relaxed, and connecting with how you want to feel. So don't forget to enjoy your practice. This is what it's all about. Yeah, is enjoying the process of connecting with this feeling. So, yes, we're done. I want to thank you for being here, for taking this workshop and getting onto the path to having an easeful and less stressful wedding planning journey. I don't want to lie to you and say that any wedding planning journey is stress free, because that's not true. There will be some stresses, and it's important that we have tools to help manage that process, and this is a tool. Okay, so bookmark this so that you can come back to it any time if you need to. But I would love to stay connected. So you can find me over at intentionally_wed on Instagram. Obviously, you can find me here on YouTube. If you wanted to get these slides, the presentation, you can email me at edna@intentionallywed.co.uk, and my website is as it says, intentionallywed.co.uk. I really appreciate you taking time to be here, and thank you if you feel that this is something that would help someone who's also engaged. Please feel free to share it. And again, I'll ask you to like this video as well. And yes, wishing you a fabulous weekend, and see you soon. Bye.